Line. Got it. Hello. No, wait, hold on. Let me get a better read. Line. That's a good line.
Honeys, we're home.
Hello, and welcome to Sinclairity A Dinosaurs Tale. I am your host, Ben Handupme, and I'm here, of course, as always, with your co-host.
We're going to need another Timmy.
I think we're doing fine with the Timmys we have.
Nope.
I'm glad we did that improv warm-up. It really paid off right there.
Yeah.
So,
great.
So we're doing a bonus today, which means that, like every bonus episode, we're gonna first check in on each other, see how we're doing this week. You know, we took a week off for that holiday, so we don't really know each other that well anymore.
It's a terrible holiday, but
that's true.
We did it. We survived.
Yeah, oven day, as they call it in the dinosaurs world.
Oven day. Yeah, yeah. That's so. Ben meant to post something about. I think, were you supposed to post something on the feed about how we were taking a bye week?
I spent 10 minutes trying to do that, and every time I listened back, I was like, oh, that's not how normal people communicate. It just sounded wrong.
Well, Ben made the rule, since we just kind of make up rules here, and none of the games, the points don't make any sense.
Oh, yeah. Carry me, Drew.
That since the dinosaurs don't celebrate Thanksgiving, we won't be recording on Thanksgiving. I don't know what the logic was.
It made it very easy for us, considering we just didn't want to at the time, and so It was a lot easier to be like, well, you know what? Let's give it a bye week.
Yeah. So
timeline won't make sense though, because we released an episode, we still are recording every weekend, aren't we? We just didn't release one, I think.
Yeah. Everyone else was expecting the
the season finale. I remember what happened now. I forgot to upload something. My bad.
The clip show?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that will be coming shortly. So
I mean, that will be before this episode comes out, Tim.
Oh, okay.
That's the season finale. We're putting a little buffer in because we're coming up on season 4. It's a big deal. Last season, not very many episodes.
The last season of, can you believe it? This is the last season.
Can you believe it? I can't. I feel like we started this podcast.
Series.
We were bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, just young, naive.
Jax had more teeth. He has less teeth
Jax
now.
had more teeth. We just moved to LA together to start our lives in showbiz.
Yeah, and now our lives in showbiz are over. So
yeah.
In the
we
next
moved
couple
to
of
LA
episodes.
just in time for COVID, so it all shut down.
Yeah. Plus,
but filler, we can do some filler.
Oh, always fill in your head.
Fill in your puppet with your hand. It's the whole. That's a segue. But park that segue real quick. Don't drive off the cliff, because I do want to know how you're doing this week, Tim.
Well, I have such. I'm so mad, Ben. I'm mad at myself.
Oh no! What happened? Did you fuck everything up with Issa?
So yesterday, right? Friday, I get paid like I do every 2 weeks, right? And I was like, oh, I can go out and
Hooters
and can get I can get my family gifts, my parents and my sister and her son and her husband. Those are the only people I really buy gifts for, besides Issa and her mom. And I was like, okay, I can do that this weekend. And so we did. We were out all day yesterday, getting various things for my family. And then I was also like, oh, I also have money. I can get this action figure for myself, and I can get the new Pokemon.
This is the real story, is that you wanted to get some action figures and Pokemon games.
I could get the new Pokemon. I was like, cool. I can play with all my friends because they're all playing without me and getting better than me, and I don't like that.
We've been enjoying it. We've been having our Timless days, our Timless nights. I don't have a Switch. I'm not part of it.
And so we went to like different, like I got like a book for my dad at Barnes and Noble. And
oh shit! Which Bill O'Reilly book was it?
I don't give him Bill O'Reilly books. He's not that kind of dad. And I got
a cool dad.
I got my, and then we went to Target and I got something for my little cousin, his first Lego set.
Your little cousin? I thought you didn't include.
Or not
my cousin earlier.
Sorry, my nephew.
Your nephew? Okay, I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't have cousins.
I do, and I sent cousin Ryan his T-shirt. It's on the way, by the way. It was his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Ryan! Yesterday, a week and a half ago, basically.
When he's listening to this, he'll probably have his shirt by then.
Well, shit, you should have told me yesterday. I would have posted a tweet for him.
I'll have him post a photo of himself in a shirt.
Does he have Twitter?
No, I don't think so. He's a dad.
Okay, I'm going to tweet at him for his birthday real quick while we're doing this. But go on with your story. Tell me what you got for your mom.
So anyway, we went to Target, got a few things, and then we went to the mall. That was going to be our last stop. And then we were probably going to get some food.
To be fair, Florida is a mall. All of Florida is a mall.
Yeah, the Mall of America. And we go to the mall, and I get my mom her gift, and then we're just kind of going around to different stores. And I was probably going to get, my last one was going to be like my sister, get something for my sister. And we go to the Think Geek store, which we have in our mall, which is weird.
That's real, huh?
Yeah, it's real. It's
I thought store. GameStop already tanked that shit.
I think this one is about to close.
I think they were about to close the day they opened.
But they have like cool exclusive things. So, I was looking at the action figures and stuff like that. And
do they have like a 151 down there?
I don't know what that is.
It's the Pokemon store.
Oh.
They have one up here. It's like fucking crazy.
No, I've always wanted to go to the one in New York, but I hear it's not that cool.
It's called Original 151. It's near Dayton, Ohio. When you come up here, we'll just fucking drive. We'll do that the whole day instead of whatever we were planning. You will die. Like, you will love it so much. I still haven't gone. Olivia went and told me all about it. Okay. Sorry, go on. Pokemon is too big of a deal. I got distracted.
Mm-hmm. So we go into Think Geek, and then outside of Think Geek are these dudes. I've seen them. I've been seeing them for a while, and they like clean your shoes, right?
Yeah.
And then they like sell you some shit
to
clean
trick
your shoes. Oh my god, Ben! I got fucking worked like a Mark Jabroni ass.
Let me check. Did they say? I bet I can guess where you got your shoes.
No.
Oh, because they do that, and then they say on your feet.
The guy flipped. First, the guy like flipped out because he's like, holy shit, man, those Vans. He's like, I know those Vans. Those are rare as fuck. Like they don't make those anymore. And I was
did
like,
that to me. I was wearing Vans too.
And I was like, yeah, well, actually, these are like limited, like edition, special edition. Like these are my friend's shoes. Like he was a professional BMX rider, and Vans made his shoes, and these are his shoes. Like he just had these. Like he just gave them to me. Like they were under his bed. He didn't care. He did not care that he had his own shoes. And he's like, hey Tim, you want these? I'm like, sure. And I didn't really wear them because they hurt my feet. Oh, well, not my feet. They hurt my ankle.
Your feelings.
They like scraped the ankle, like the back of them. They're high top Vans.
They were cursed. That's why I gave them to you.
No, but they were really cool. They're like really cool shoes. Like they have like this little coffin on the back of them that you can't really see, but it's like raised.
Speaking of Pokemon, coughing.
Yeah. Coffin. And and I never really
paid for that voice actor work.
I never really wore them until a couple of months ago when I was talking to my friend Woody, our friend of the show Woody, about how I had these shoes that are really cool, but I never wear them because they hurt my ankles. And he was just kind of like, no, you just gotta like get the right socks. I'm like, okay. So I started wearing them again.
It's all about the right strain, bro.
And I started wearing them again, and This guy saw me, flipped out, and I was like very excited about that. I'm like, oh, does he actually know like what these are about? And then all of a sudden, he's just like, oh, he's like, oh man, and they look so beat up. Like, how could you let them go like this? And I'm like, I'm like, what? And then he starts cleaning my shoe, man.
You fucker.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, at first I was like, what do you do? Like, I was like, okay. And I'm like, well, can I like at least give you a tip? And he was just like, no, man, you want to buy this $80 set of, like, I'm like, no.
Oh my God. No. The bait and switch.
And he just kept going on, man. And he made me feel so bad. Like, that like, well, I felt bad anyway because he was doing this and he wasn't going to make any money. Like, I didn't have cash, you know?
He wouldn't let you do shit. And, like, I don't know, man. That happened to me with a mixtape. This guy handed me his mixtape, literally told me it was fire, and then, like, asked me if I had any money, and I didn't have any, and he took it back.
Yeah, which is, that's how it should go. You should be like, yeah, dude, I don't have any money. And then he stopped, but the guy would not. He was so persistent, man.
Well, that's how he's going to be, like, fucking top of the sales department at, like, Macy's one day.
Yeah. So, long story short, he cleaned both of my shoes because he only cleaned one before he tried to sell me the $80 set, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to spend $80 on that because, surprise, I don't care really what my shoes look like.
And I don't have $80 to my name.
I don't have $80. I have $80, but I don't want to spend $80 on a kit to clean my shoes.
Hey, Tim, we're trying to be relatable to the people. You can't tell them you have $80.
Well,
I know we're rich.
I want to spend $80 because I still have gifts to buy for my family. And
see, you got fucking had.
I got fucking worked. This dude is the master. He's a worker.
$80 brother. Though. This would work if you're selling something that's like $10. Sometimes it might work. I'm somebody that you can just tell me you want money and I hand it to you. Like, you don't have to do this at me.
Well, I didn't spend the $80. I spent the $50 to get the smaller set because I felt bad.
You did. Oh my God. No, you didn't. You
yes.
bought. Yes. It's not. Show me it. What is it? What is it called?
You want to see
What's
it?
The brand. I want to see the brand because I'm going to Google it and find out how it's worth $5. Jesus, you really did get worked. I thought like you just meant you got worked, like this guy bothered you for a bit and you had to deal with it and left. But you're poor now.
The whole point of the work is to get the money out of somebody, you know?
But I thought you had some kind of street smarts about you. I don't know why.
You know, I do, Ben. Usually I just ignore those people at the mall kiosks, you know, like the phone people and like, you know.
I always tell them I'm barely not homeless right now. I'm like, I have that van, that's it.
So this is the product I bought.
Okay. That's probably mostly fentanyl. Hold on.
It comes
refreshed what?
Refreshed shoe cleaner.
Uh-huh. So this is like an MLM, I bet.
Probably. This guy's probably. He's probably.
What's the kit come with? Is this the starter kit?
Anything. Yeah.
So it's like a brush and the cleaning stuff?
Comes with a cleaner and conditioner and then a spray for stain repellent. Water and stain repellent.
Huh. I gotta tell you, it's looking like it's $20 on their website.
So what's this guy making crazy commission?
He's making like over 100% profit.
And I tipped him.
And you tipped him. What app did you use?
Ben.
What app was this? Did he like Venmo?
I don't know. It was probably Square. It was probably some kind of Square.
Oh, you used his thing with your card.
Yeah, they have a little thing at the kiosk.
Oh, cool. Because that's probably just ready to steal your info too. Tim, I've got so much shit. I'm just gonna like start scamming you full time.
I'm so mad.
I don't know. I had I did a grift myself this week. That was my story. Is I grifted.
I bet you did.
I did. I went to Hobby Lobby and I don't support Hobby Lobby, so I stole this bandana. This ska bandana I hold in front of you right now from a Hobby Lobby, doing my gay civic duty. It was mostly because I was already there with somebody else and I didn't want to wait in line just to buy a $1 bandana, so I just kind of like walked out with it. Great thing to do when you're 31 because it'd be not embarrassing at all to get stopped for stealing a $1 bandana and having to get arrested over it.
Getting arrested for a $1 bandana.
I mean, you've seen those retail like security. They really think they're like fucking Superman.
I know, but the funny thing is like they can't do anything to you.
A lot of them still try to, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm an adult. I will kill you.
Like the employees can't even do anything. They just have to watch you steal it and walk out. Like it's funny. It's so hilarious to me.
You know what? I lied. Actually, it looks like the one that you have might be $50.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it. In it too.
I'm looking at my account right now, and I don't see anything suspicious.
Does it have a touch up? It had like a little touch up thing and like a water repellent spray.
Yeah.
That's the $50 set.
Yep, it is.
So, this guy, what does he get paid to do this? Like,
he probably makes less than minimum wage.
So like, this is just his like. I thought this was his own grift, but he's just fucking a part of a fucking got hired off a Glassdoor type shit.
Yeah, like he works at a mall kiosk. That's how those things work.
Oh man. Well, speaking of mall kiosks, today we're going to be talking about a man named Jim Henson. So
and how he scammed thousands of people into thinking that Muppets were a viable entertainment.
He scammed us out of our hearts. So I don't know, like, if anybody listening is familiar. We've mentioned him a few times. Kevin Perjurer. He is a human being that exists in the world.
Yeah, we discussed this on like episode 1 of the podcast, I think, right?
Yeah, but everyone starts at like the newest one, I think, and then works back. Nobody's made it to episode 1.
I only show them the funniest ones.
Yeah, which is probably ones where we have guests that are funnier than us.
Yeah, most of the time.
But like the thing is, DeFunkland. A lot of people know this channel because like it will come up in conversations a lot. This past couple of days though, every time I brought it up with somebody, they did not, and I was like, well, shit, this really deflates my whole theory. Where I was going to talk about how Kevin is basically like a full-fledged documentarian at this point. Like he's cut his fucking teeth in this scene.
It's crazy. Like I think I was talking about it last night, in our group chat. I was talking about we watched his like 2-hour long video about the Fast Pass program, like the documentary about it, and how he like hired an actual like industrial engineer to make like a model of an actual Disney theme park to figure out like if Fast Pass actually makes your experience at the parks worse. And that's like crazy. And it's this whole model, like it was insane. And then and the whole twist of it was he's like, yeah, this place is all imaginary, right? I just made that all up. And he's like, nope, actually, these numbers, the data that I used are actual data numbers used from Disney's Animal Kingdom on this specific day. And it was like the worst day to ever be at that theme park.
Oh my God. You hate Animal Kingdom.
I do hate it.
Because the zoo's being just depressing to watch. The animals just be like... Yeah. It sucks because there's a lot of work that like certain aquariums and zoos do that's important, like as far as research and conservation. But there's also a lot, like, you know, we've all seen Blackfish and cried. Like we know what goes on in some places, and we know that it's not right either way.
Yeah,
there has to be some kind of balance. I wish people just wanted to give money to wildlife without having to like ogle at it for the like exchange.
Yeah, but you could just go to a national park and maybe you'll get lucky. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Get lucky at a national park is tips advice. I would say I just always go to like that Tiger King, that Trump season 2 thing. I go check out that guy's parks.
Oh no! Have you watched any of it, Ben? Like even the first season?
I saw the first season when it was hot shit everyone was talking about.
The second season is just a little too I don't know
I heard
what
it was a
wants.
Trump rally.
It feels like one. They literally go to the Stop the Steal rally, like two of the guys.
Oh my god!
And they
Is that
get,
like a Bengals? Is that a Bengals rally against the Steelers?
No, they get yelled at by the Trump supporters because they went to the Stop the Steal rally January 6th to try to get Trump to pardon Joe Exotic so he could get out of prison. And so they made this big deal. They had like this big banner, and they're like standing there with all the other like treasonous rioters. And this one Trump supporter came up to him just like, "What are you doing here? Joe Exotic is terrible. Why would Trump pardon him?" Like they were mad at them.
Jesus, terrible people. I for like research for this thing, like, you know, we're going to be doing a series here about the DeFunctland series. We're doing a series about a series.
We're
Very exhibit pimping your ride type shit. Inception. We're going to be talking about Kevin Perjurer's DefunctTV series about Jim Henson, which is like 6 videos. We're probably going to tackle the first 1 or 2. We might get through the second one of this one. I'm on kind of a tight time schedule. You know, I'll be honest, I gotta go smuggle some endangered species across the border later, so
that makes sense.
I didn't want to tell you, but
you gotta go down to
the
South
cat's
America.
out of the bag.
You gotta go down to South America.
Yeah. The tiger is out of the bag, so to speak. But yeah, so I guess it's not just Kevin Perjurer though. It's Noah Randall as well as part of the Defunct series, and he doesn't do all the work alone. He has like some help like with research. Because I found an AMA about like the, you know, people were asking him questions about like whether he does the outline of it like beforehand. He said in the case of the Henson one, yeah, because he had like all the information already readily available. He knew kind of what he wanted to do. So that's one where he was able to just do a quick structured outline and script and then go into it. Versus ones where he has to do a lot more actual physical research and go to the library, look through newspapers, like hire people to test things. That's something where there's no way to have a real outline, just an idea beforehand. Like our show where we don't have a real outline.
Yeah, but Kevin does good work. All his stuff is always very interesting. So kudos to him. But
yeah, he's the next Ken Burns for sure.
We just thought it would be fun to just kind of talk about his work, and so yeah, that's what we'll be doing for these bonus episodes.
It's really, we're talking about Jim Henson. We're just using his work as a way to talk about it, and it's kind of a layered thing because we're gonna definitely. It's. I just think everyone should check out DefunctTV because he compiled all this information for us, so we can talk about Henson to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the most interesting thing starting off, because it starts off like what were you laughing about? I'm professional. It starts off by talking about like in 1955, an 18-year-old boy named James Maury Henson was hard at work in his parents' living room. He hovered over a small table on which he MacGyvered together some shit to make a Kermit, basically. That's like the story. A ping pong ball he cuts in half, you know, puts his arm up in this bitch, like, boom, you got a Muppet. So 18 years old, has a Muppet. I mean, like, I already knew about Muppets when I was way younger than that, so I'm not that impressed already. Just saying.
I know, but he's just like, he just
invented it. That makes, yeah.
Yeah, and he just, they talk about it, and like him and his brother, they just loved to like make things, you know?
Yeah, they built like little radios and shit because he was obsessed with radio. And this is the other thing I think is funny is he was obsessed with radio until he like found out about, like, at 13 he heard about television. At 13 I was watching that shit when I was a baby. He's so slow.
I was watching
he was
Sesame
born in
Street.
I know he was born in like what would that be, like 1949 when he was 13. Yeah, so I get it. That makes sense. He was born in 36. That's like when my grandma was born or something.
He was born in Mississippi. So do you think that's why Kermit ended up being a frog in a swamp?
Yeah. I mean, originally he was like kind of a in-between monster and lizard and frog. Like you couldn't really tell for sure. Kind of vague. I do I mean, I saw that part that we'll see later in this where it's talking about the special with all the little frogs everywhere, the little Kermits. That I've never seen that. I was like, I want to fucking watch that immediately. It was adorable.
It's his version of the Frog Prince. I think that's what it was supposed to be, a part of the anthology, because he did the Cinderella parody as well.
Yeah, Hey Cinderella, which I've not seen or heard of these. Have you seen them?
No, I haven't seen any of them.
I mean, we learn about like fucking Sam and Friends or whatever in this documentary, and the fact that you can't watch it, like, for the most part, there's only some of it that's been saved and like recreated by Henson, and that's sad. That is really depressing.
It's crazy because that's definitely a thing. Like a lot of like pro wrestling from the early days, like some whole like companies, like organizations that are like TV shows, they don't have like anything. They have no tape library because they would just record like a set of matches, and then they would just take last week's tape and just tape over it like after it aired. So there's crazy. There's like no, there's no like evidence, no archives or anything like that. So
I mean,
that makes sense.
It makes sense. Like if we didn't have like Matt Rooney, we wouldn't have a recording of our live set. Like there's a lot of things that we just don't document because you don't know at the time what the significance will be. Like, obviously, our live set in Florida is going to end up being the same as Sam and Friends for Jim Henson.
Yeah. I want to be the purple skull guy.
Oh, God.
The creepiest puppet.
They were all fucking so interesting. Like, I just love the whole itchy and scratchy nature of, like, the commercials and ads they did, too. Which I think Kevin did a great job with the Squarespace ads for this video.
Yeah.
Doing a little parody of it with beating each other up about it and shit. We gotta start doing that.
I love that. Oh, God damn it. Hang on.
Hold on. Oh, Tim, do your feet hurt? Because it sounds like your dogs are barking. Yeah, your dogs are barking.
Jax! Get down! Get down!
I'm just gonna chill here without Tim for a minute. Really, just like...
No one likes you.
Think about. Oh, never mind. I got distracted. I heard Tim say no one likes you, and I usually he says that at me, so I thought he was talking to me again. No. Oh, he's back. What's up?
Yeah. No, I just closed the door.
It's not as fun to have. It's not as fun to have those segments when I know you have headphones in that you can walk around with. You can hear me the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I want to do my little bits where you come back and never know what I said, like we used to back in the good old days. Back in 36 when Henson was born and we went our separate ways and you fought for Stalin and I fought for freedom. You remember that? Fucking I had to shoehorn it in because the year being 36 really bugged me this whole time that I couldn't. Anyway. So where were we at before your dog started barking?
So we were just talking about all the like weird characters that he developed, like his first one, which was Pierre the Rat.
It's funny because like some of them like throughout those early years evolved and became Muppets that we still see, and some of them just kind of just are gone forever. Just weren't like didn't keep up with it.
Yeah, like it was cool though, cause to see like there's a specific thing that Kevin does during this where he'll bring up the like introduction of a certain character that's still around. Like, yeah, I don't know, it's really cool.
Sweetums gets mentioned at some point as like the Fraggles. Like that was really interesting.
And Gonzo.
Gonzo was like a little side note during the Fraggles. He didn't even say his name. He just mentioned that he like had like an appetite for like adrenaline or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's my boy.
He was in a cigar box. That puppet was just like inside a cigar box.
That's so silly. What a monster.
Yeah.
But so like this obsession with television, imagining like living in a world where you just had radio, like, which is kind of what we're back to. Everyone's listening to podcasts all the time. But like, I just like, I don't know, the fact that for one, he just was obsessed with wanting to be involved with TV. And that is the only reason he actually got into puppets, is because that was his breakthrough opportunity. Is somebody was like trying to hire somebody to do that shit. Puppet shit. So he just like got like books from the library and was like, all right, guess I'm a puppeteer now.
Yeah. And he ended up getting a TV job. and that only gave him $5 an episode.
Hey, that's like, wasn't that like 70 adjusted for inflation? He's like a tree pusher.
Yeah, but then in a very ironic turn of events, the whole operation got shut down because the show he was working for were violating child labor law.
Yeah, which is, at first I thought it meant about him, and I was like, wait, wasn't he an adult? I was like, what were they doing with these kids that, like, I guess they weren't part of the Screen Actors Guild?
No.
You know, you imagine it probably means kids that were on the show, but what if it was, like, janitors, and, like, they just had kids doing, like, all this fucking crazy work there, unrelated to, like, the main on-set shit?
Yeah, and then, so he ends up getting another job just because people noticed what he was doing. And he comes up with the term of Muppet, which he admits he just came up with. Like, he just made it up.
Yeah, I think in the episode we had with Adel, I said it means mouth noises with puppet. And obviously people think it means marionette and puppet. That's what I assumed it means. And honestly, I still think it means that. I think he's being, like, kind of, like, goofy about saying he just said it. Like, he's probably just mumbling it. But obviously, they are a mixture between a puppet and a marionette, so it doesn't. You can't call them marionettes. That sounds stupid.
Yeah, and to help him like make his puppets, basically he switched his majors from being like in production design so he could take home economics, which he learned all his regular skills.
Yeah, I was forced to do that once, where I was kicked out of pre-calculus and sent to home ec. And I didn't become Jim Henson, so I think it's bullshit.
Well, you got kicked out. There's a difference, Ben.
Well, okay, yeah, mine was a little bit more punk rock, I'll admit. But he was they added a puppet class to the home ec course, which is crazy. Like, I wanted to go to fucking puppet school, but it was taught by a professor who had no experience in puppetry, so Jim was like the hotshot student who was teaching the professor essentially. Yeah. And caught the eye of a hot young 20-year-old Jane Neville,
who they bring it up in the episode, but they talk about how like they more or less were like a couple, but only because like they just liked to work together. Like, it wasn't like a romantic thing. I don't. So it's very weird.
So it's like how young people now, we all say partner instead of boyfriend and girlfriend. But, like, they mean it. They're really business partners that are getting married.
Yeah, like, they said in the thing that it was, like, 60-40, right? They own Muppet Inc., and it was, like,
60-40, no 69ing is what the full sentence was.
Yeah, no 69ing at all.
Unless, like, maybe romantic didn't cross into that. Maybe they still fucked. That's not something that we would discuss on this. So, like, what a weird thing to say.
They did a couple of times. They had a few kids.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You do have to fuck to have kids. I think about that sometimes when you see those, like, stickers on people's cars with, like, the families or whatever. Or you see any couple out with a baby. You're just like, they fucked.
Yeah.
Those two people.
Just like Zach.
What the fuck? Zach fucked. Chris fucked.
3 times.
These people are all fucking. I thought Jim Henson was supposed to be a good guy, but apparently he has sex, so.
That's disgusting.
Shame on him.
Yeah.
What's cool is you know, we had talked about how they did that show like Saturday for a little bit for Meacham, and then like when he started working with Jane, they started like doing more elaborate lip syncing routines and skits, and like in 1955, I believe, Jim and Jane began performing puppeting skits on like the WRC TV's new variety program Afternoon. These things are all just named like days and time of days, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they knew how to do with TV back then. They didn't have. It's like how before the Beatles, there weren't really band names that often. Like, it was just like this guy and his people.
Yeah, but they started the show Sam and Friends off of the success of that, and they had Yorick, who is the weird purple skull guy. Yeah, Sam, who's just like supposed to be a regular person.
And
his
unmoving is like non-moving face and like inflexibility.
And then you got Professor Madcliffe, who just sounds like Rolf the dog. Chicken liver, which is also
yeah.
a disturbing looking puppet.
Yeah, grumpy motherfucker. You get Harry the hipster, which is of course Jazz Lovin character.
He kind of looks like an otter. He looks like one of the otters.
And then you get Kermit, which is interesting because like it comes up a few later. Like Kermit's like not the fan favorite yet. Still, like later, like it's like he's the fourth most liked character, but he does appear in front of the camera more than others because obviously Jim is like, for one, he barely had to change his voice for this fucking guy, and I think that's a big part of it. Like just made his voice a little bit like Jim the Frog here. Like, I mean, like that's what the new guy does. He barely changes his voice and just sounds dumb.
Yeah, and it's such a funny concept. Like when they talk about the concept of Sam and Friends, where it's like Sam is just like a regular person, but then like all of these monsters, quote unquote, just like exist. Like he's like imagining them.
Yeah, they're like exaggerated parts of his own inner self. So it's psychosis.
He's going crazy. And he's the only character. Yeah, that was one of my favorite lines. Is that like Sam is the only character that existed in reality.
Yeah. So basically, he's like JD, and everyone else is like the janitor. If we're gonna scrubs it up, you know. Sorry, I forgot. I always try to bring back our no scrubs joke, but never mind.
Yeah, and then like basically every episode was like mostly just the Muppets lip syncing to
there you go, Milli Vanilli.
other records, and then at the end, Jim would always have a crazy, fucking weird ending where someone would get like eaten or get blown up.
Yeah,
which is great.
And like we had mentioned already, like they don't have these recordings because this is like the age of the kinescope, which is a device that like film camera recorded the live television feed in order to play it back because there were no like tapes and shit. So like really there's just not a lot of like proof this existed. For all we know, Kevin made it up.
Yeah.
I didn't research it. Kevin Perjurer just made this all up.
Well, like it was cool because like I think the whole thing with Jim was that the reason, like, because he grew up just loving television is that like he developed these puppets to just like be specifically made for television. So like he understood how to shoot it and how to perform and everything like that. So it was a breakthrough.
Very different than the way puppets work on stage. Because like he could like get real close-ups of just like small movements of the hands and fingers and like facial expressions, and like it's something that like I don't know. I don't always think I have the type of vision where I can like see things the way he had to have been looking at them to know how it should look on TV. Like they had that little camera they'd roll under it, and that he did for the rest of his career too. That like helped them maintain the live vision and what it should look like. I just think it's like I just wish I could have been on set to see something like this filmed.
Yeah. It would have been.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And to keep their whole show alive, though, they did have to get some sponsors.
Yeah, they had to suck the man off, you know. That's corporate shills and stuff.
They had to sell out.
I fucking hate that shit. Anyway, we'll be right back after this paid sponsorship.
From vegan water.
And we're back.
Yeah. But unfortunately, though, the show did get canceled at one point, but it was so popular that the fans actually...
they got canceled? What did he say that was problematic?
Oh, he probably made some joke about Swedish people.
Sweetums. Sweetums people?
Yeah.
But yeah, they got a bunch of outraged fans wrote in to like get it uncanceled, which is crazy.
Exactly. So they kept going. And then until was it April 15th, 1956, Jim's brother Paul ends up dying in a car accident.
Wow, way to bring down the mood, Tim.
I know. But
I guess that wasn't your fault.
No, it was not. I was not born.
You were not Matthew Broderick.
No.
You're more like a who's the other guy who played Go-Go Gadget, and the other you're that squinty fucker. What's his name?
What are you talking about?
You know who I'm Third Rock from the Sun. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, French Stewart.
Yeah, because there's two gadgets. There's Broderick in one, and then there's French Stewart in the other. They used to put him in things all the time. I don't know why.
In machines?
No, in shows.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why.
In movies.
Because he's
just to walk around squinting at shit.
It's not funny.
I squint at shit all the time, and I don't get any TV time, ever.
That's just because you need glasses.
I do have glasses. I don't wear them. Otherwise, they'd be a part of my signature look, like Jim's beard that he fucking developed around this time and after his brother died. His brother died, so he got a beard and a new perspective on life, which is just a lot of unnatural amounts of fucking ridiculous optimism, it's described as. I love this trait of him because, Jim Henson was just the logo before things I watched for most of my life. It wasn't like somebody I knew much about. I'd seen him maybe, like images of him, pictures of him sometimes, and not really thought about him too much until we started doing this. Like, I think you were more interested in him as a person than I was prior. Mm-hmm. And we've just through I don't know, like everything I've read about him through this, stories we heard from Bill, and like, I don't know, it just seems like a really fucking unique once in a million years type of human being, like a true second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, and he was, very dedicated to his work, and he just loved. Yeah, he always loved to push the envelope with things that he could do with the art form. Which
it was important really to him that it was art.
Yeah.
Because he was all like, because he got, like we said, puppets were a means to an end at first for him. Like, he just saw it as a way to get on TV. There was an opportunity. But then, like, he went on, like, he had this trip to Europe at some point. It'll come up, like, where he, like, really, like, discovered, and, like, when he came back, he, like, saw it as its own art form that could be used to express things that he couldn't have expressed in other ways.
Yeah, and then so based off of the popularity of the show, they were offered an appearance on national television, on the Tonight Show with Steve
Tim
Allen. With
oh,
Tim Allen.
More Kermit. So, yeah, this is what I was mentioning earlier, because at this point, like, so they got this little appearance because they found out, because they were only airing in D.C. on this network. D.C. citizens could see it, but, like, this Steve Allen found out about the show, like, he had seen, like, some clip or something and was, like, really interested in having it actually, like, be broadcast to everyone. Mm-hmm. And this boosted them into, like, the public light for, like, the first time, really, the main public light for the whole country. And I mean, this is where we have Mushmelon is, like, the second and third favorite with Sam and Mushmelon. Who the fuck? Mushmelon looks so goofy. Did you see that
weird.
Guy?
Yeah, this is fucking weird.
That's who I would be, like, realistically. Would I be Sweetums? I don't even want to think about it.
Gonzo.
I'm Big Bird, and I know it. Gonzo is always the one I say when I'm Fozzie. I already know I'm Fozzie. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. But Yorick is still the favorite, which I think is hilarious because he's, like, kind of terrifying.
Yeah, he's just like a floating skull.
Yeah, but Kermit's still fucking rocking the fourth. It's like in the circle when you don't want to be number one because people will be targeting you, but you want to be, like, kind of like,
Exactly.
Kermit's he's like, I got your back, my boy Kermit.
I always knew you were a Circle fan, Ben.
Hey, I love the circle game as well. Anything to do with circles. Pie.
Jerks.
I love that movie, American Pie, with Jason Biggs. He looks like a Muppet. But so they start doing a lot of, like, commercials after this point because that type of comedy he does works really well for that. So they do, like, commercials for the Wilkins Company, for Wilkins Coffee. And something I've never heard of, but I've heard of Muppets, so somebody won in that matchup of, like...
Also, like, these ads, like, whatever footage Kevin could get, these ads were fucking hilarious. Like, so basically it's like, there's two puppets. It's like Wilkins and Wumpkins. And Wilkins is basically like a salesperson, like, who goes to Wilkins and
tries to sell shoe polish and shit,
Yeah,
shoe cleaning set.
And if he doesn't, he's gonna shoot him.
Yep.
So Wilkins asks him, "Is like, hey, why don't you drink Watkins?" He's like, Wonkin, or why won't? Oh no! Now I'm just getting the names confused.
This is why Tim didn't get hired to do it. This is Jim, not Tim.
Well, yeah, because like there's this one skit where Wilkins goes up to Wonkin's like window at his house, and he's like, "Hey, you guys got Wilkins coffee at your house?" And Watkins is like, "No, why?" And he just pushes over the coffee pot, and his house blows up.
I know. I was like, this is literally the type of shit I would try to get away with in school if I had a project that I could be creative with. I'm like,
so
they're gonna blow each other up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like and then he shoots him with the cannon, and then he points the cannon at the audience, like, "You better fucking drink this coffee."
So basically what we're saying is Jim Henson is a cause for a lot of violence in our modern society, because violence in the media, before that there was none. Like, yeah, of course Hitler was before this and people were murdered, but like really this is when violence started.
Yeah, it was all the Muppets. It's all their fault.
It's all the Muppets. Because M in the word Muppet stands for malevolent.
Murder? Oh.
Murder, shit. Muck duck. Fuck, mup pup.
I mean, it's crazy that
puppets.
Like they got so popular that they even had their own toy line. You could buy like Wilkins and Wonkins puppets.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
So it's around this time, like after like he did this, he grabbed a beard. That's what I mean by he married Jane Neville. That's his beard.
He grabbed a beard.
Because let's be for real. He was married to Frank Oz in his heart. I know. I have support from this documentary because so we're gonna tie in real quick because we gotta wrap this up pretty soon. These are gonna be kind of a short episode series, but like while this violence thing is happening on this, later when he goes to work with the children's television workshop to make Sesame Street, his whole fear is that it's gonna fucking like make him only children's entertainment. Like Muppets are only gonna be for kids, which in a lot of senses they're for kids and for grown adult children like us that are barely adults collecting Legos and shit, shoplifting from Slobby Nobby, no, Hobby Lobby.
Sloppy on my knob, slob on my hobby.
I said while we were rolling up to it yesterday, I said hob on my knob, hob on my lob, like slob on my I couldn't. Never mind. Tim, not Jim. But so Jim and Jane were engaged to different ass people, and then just fucking dumped them and got married to each other.
Yeah, ass
and started
people.
popping out kids. Ass people. Yeah, well, everyone should be ass people. It's 2012. Wake up, sheeple. But then they got married in 1959. And it was just they took like a short break for their like honeymoon, where they probably did that thing we talked about earlier.
That's right, because they had their first kid,
where she watched him fuck Frank Oz. I'm sorry, but they were the inspiration for Bert and Ernie. That's why I was bringing that up. Sesame Street
roommates.
They were roommates. Like, come on, we've Bert and Ernie. No, it's not even funny to have any discourse about Bert and Ernie being gay because it's the most obvious thing that's ever like. It's just been a joke forever. But, like, I just think that back then men just couldn't tell each other how they felt. And maybe Frank and Jim would have... I shouldn't speculate on this. That's not fair to the... Is Frank still alive? Yeah. I shouldn't speculate on this. Yeah, because Bill talked shit about him in that one episode.
I guess they don't like him.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Well, I could... I don't know. We can't speak to that. We're neutral parties to any kind of Muppet drama.
Exactly.
I will not be a puppet for either side. But this is they also like around this time they formed Muppet Inc. and they like hired some people that they met around through like different conventions and shit and started to like grow as a company.
Yeah, that's where so he met Frank Oz when Frank Oz was like 17 and he was like so determined, like he wanted Frank on his team.
Yeah, I mean that was just he was the son of like already like famous people or whatever performers, and like a gifted performer himself. It was somebody he sought out, and definitely helped him develop a lot of the characters in the future and like make everything. I mean, like Frank Oz was like who all was he? And he was either Bert or Ernie. I always forget which one was which.
He was Ernie.
Ernie, and then who else was he on that? He was the Cookie Monster, right?
He was Cookie Monster. He did Yoda, of course.
Oh yeah, that's the most famous role.
He's done Yoda. He did Miss Piggy for a while. Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't? Am I right? Hiya!
Steve Martin. I don't know.
Fair enough. But yeah, so he meets all these people, and like this kind of ties into the Sesame Street too, because when Sesame Street took off, and like, he was mixed feelings about it. Like you said, he didn't want them to be super associated. But like originally, he was just doing these little skits in between the live action. But like kids were fucking falling asleep during the live action segments, so they had to like get more Muppets in there.
We want more Muppets.
Time, yeah. So he went to conventions and like hunting down some people to work with him, and that's when he met what's her name, the Big Bird chick. that's what she goes by, right?
Big Bird chick. Yeah.
Yeah, Carol Spinney. Everyone knows Carol Spinney, though. There's a lot of campaigns recently where people don't like Big Bird, and they're trying to convince everybody else he's scary.
Yeah, because he got vaccinated. So Ted Cruz is scared of him.
But birds aren't real.
Well, Ted Cruz thinks birds are real.
Who the fuck is Ted Cruz? Oh, I thought he died.
No, he's still alive.
Okay, well, I'm going to Google, is Death Note real? I'm going to write it in a Death Note book.
No.
You know what popped up is Death Note good? Is what popped up. I'm going to click it. Let's see. Is Death Note a good series? Oh, this answer is way too long. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? That can't be right.
The TV show? Or the anime?
The anime, not the... is there a TV show, too?
Yeah, there's a live-action version of it.
Anyway, I'm closing that window. I'm closing the window on Twitter where I just posted "fuck you, Ryan" 44 minutes ago. Thank you, Ryan. So to kind of like get into like towards the end of what these videos talk about, I'll be like, for one, I didn't finish the Sesame Street video, so I can't tell you.
I did.
Oh, what happens at the end of that?
Oh no, we won't talk about it. We're not there yet.
Oh, we are there. We've been talking about it mixed together because we're okay. Well, we'll get to the end of the one about the first Muppets first, and then we'll get over there.
Yeah.
Because So we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and it was great too because as soon as he got like Muppets, he got his whole crew together, Muppets Inc. He decided to end Sam and Friends, and
with a fucking explosion, like
he blew up the whole set.
I wonder. It makes me think about how we're about to do season 4 of Dinosaurs, and we know how that ends too. True. The way Henson would have wanted it.
Yeah, bleak and depressing.
But like somehow still optimistic and fucking Jesus and hippie like. I don't know. It's the man was a fucking, he was Kermit himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Kermit this the memory. Muppets City soundtrack. But so we kind of like bounced around with the hiring of new employees thing. Ends the Salmon Show, obviously, and some of the characters from like those like random televised performances throughout the years and the commercials and like being on like different Tonight Show type sketches, whatever, would like kind of evolve into the future that the Muppets that we still see now.
Mm-hmm. I think he introduced Rolf in between there here and
yeah.
Rolf was on the Jimmy Dean show, was it?
Jimmy Dean show,
something
a
like
real
that.
Sausage of a show,
something like that. But yeah, Rolf...
I mean, there were so many that I've never heard of. Like when they were talking about late night shows, I'm like, I thought Johnny Carson was old, but who the fuck are these people?
They were in black and white. That shit was in black and white, man.
That's how people used to dream in black and white.
That's crazy.
Why? Why'd they do that?
I don't know. I dream in digital.
I dream in what is that thing where they add Technicolor? I dream in Technicolor. It's like clear to me that it was added later. Who are we? Oh man, I just had a flashback to listening to one of the Keystone Copycats episode where I think Chris says that Technicolor turns them on sexually. So take that as you will. And check out that weird ass podcast. But
are you talking about the Halloween episode, like the movie Halloween?
Oh, I didn't listen to that one, so no.
Or Oh,
But
wait, I don't know
I
what
would
I'm
like
talking
to say no, it was like
Freaky
Friday.
Friday.
Or some
Freaky
shit.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, different type of Halloween. But that pretty much like the Muppets Inc. moves to New York. They produce a variety of commercials. They appear on nearly like every single late night show, and like produce the few art films. And that concludes like the first segment that Defunct TV covers on like the history of Jim Henson and the Muppets.
Yeah, and it's wonderful, and it's a wonderful series, and you should watch it yourself on YouTube.
And honestly, like the one the video that we've been kind of talking about a little bit in between, which we're not going to cover in the same scope because it's not did you watch a lot of Sesame Street? Do you remember a lot of Sesame Street?
I think I remember enough of it. I don't think I was like there's one but maybe I'll just save it for when we do the next episode. But there's a very specific like musical part that I remember from Sesame Street as a kid.
So you do want to? We are going to tackle that full episode separately.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, that sounds good because we only really kind of like spoiled a little bit of it. We didn't get into like who like Joan Cooney is or anything that's really important to it. No. So that's a little teaser. We'll do that next week.
Plus, we can get into it because there's a new documentary coming out on HBO about Sesame Street, just about Sesame Street. So.
Cool. So that'll be,
more content.
That. Yeah, more content. More content. Yeah. So that'll be good. But so this concludes our episode 1 of our series about the series Defunct TV, like Jim Henson, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah, miniseries.
Yeah, and we mainly wanted to do this because we just want to hang out with y'all a little bit longer. We're getting pretty close to the end of this run of Sinclairity, and next, I know that Tim has a deal with Scorsese on like a 6-film run.
Yeah, and they're all Marvel movies, ironically.
Yeah, all Scorsese Marvel movies, and they all use that song from Flogging Molly or Dropkick Murphys or whoever.
I was gonna say the Rolling Stones because that's like his favorite fucking band.
Oh yeah. And I am going to play a dead body on 6 episodes in a row of CSI Miami, so doing pretty good.
I'm gonna be dock worker number 3 on an episode of Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, me and Tim are gonna be docking each other in an episode of Law and Order SVU. That's the crime that happens. But speaking of docking each other, we'd like to thank our producer
soaking?
Zach.
Soaking?
I don't know what that means, but I would definitely like to thank our producer, Zach. Speaking of soaking, I'm soaking whenever I think of our producer and his podcast, Keystone Copycats with Chris and Zach. Thank you for everything you do for us, Zach, and I hope everybody checks out your podcast and your band, Waterson. And, congrats on, being about to be a dad again for the 3rd time.
And
I
Chris
hope it feels just as good as it always has.
And Chris,
Chris, congratulations.
He got engaged.
You fucked up, buddy. That's the beginning of the end. Tim's already deep in it. You don't even know. No, it's gonna be great. I'm very happy for you, dude. I am kind of pissed, a little bit pissed. I thought we were gonna make it work, but whatever. So thanks also to Jer from Scotch and Network. Probably somebody who I think would love Muppets. I don't know if Jer had a big history with Muppets in their life, but they seem like it'd be their exact sense of humor.
Energy too.
Yeah, they're very like a modern Jim Henson for real. I think that kind of fits in a way. I'm gonna message them that after I'll tweet at Brian again, who doesn't have a Twitter, and then I'll tweet at Jer with no any precedent, just to be like, hey, you seem like Jim Henson. When we do start our band Jam Henson, Jer has to be in it. So.
Okay. Just like every other band.
Yeah, and thanks to our 2 artists, Amy Shenanigan for the logo for the podcast, and then Stacy Zepperneck for the fucking t-shirt logo, which you can still hit us up for shirts. The new ones that I had ordered are coming in very soon, so people who had already sent me money for that or whatever, I didn't rob you. I know you're used to me robbing you. That's our thing.
I know we sell shoe polish at the mall.
Yeah, and you're not a slobby lobby, so I wouldn't do that to you. But thanks for everybody who bought a t-shirt, and obviously if you get them, take a picture, send it. We're gonna post a collage or something of everybody wearing their Sinclairity shirts. Only tasteful photos unless you just send them to my private email at sinclaritypodcast@gmail.com. Oh wait, that's our email. You can message us there.
Yeah,
and we got some Twitters and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
You follow us at fuckyouryan at twitter.com. No, I don't. Does Ryan cuss? Will it seem rude that I cuss?
He cusses.
Do you fucking cuss, Ryan? You big fucking cusser out there.
He's from Long Island. Of course he cusses.
Oh shit, he fucking cusses. Yeah, he does. He's just walking around like, get the fuck out of my way. I'm the Long Island fucking medium.
Forget about
not fucking cussing. That's him. I'm a cussing cousin.
Cussing cousins. Cussing cousins.
Cussing cousins. That's what we're going to refer to Ryan as, our cussing cousin and our future intern. Since we fired Brian Henson last week. Or 2 weeks ago, whenever we fired that fucker.
Yeah, that prick.
He was so lazy. He only wanted to work on the clock. I just hated it. But, yeah, so next week we're going to be talking about Sesame Street. So, if you're like a child, I guess, listen. No, don't do that.
Don't let your child listen to this.
Yeah, I would. It would have been fine if Jim Henson didn't start fucking midway through this history of him and having kids. But now it's not kid friendly.
I can't believe he wasn't the wholesome king that we needed.
Yeah, because he let somebody hold some king. Am I right? But I'm not. I'm wrong. I'm always wrong. But I gotta get out of here. This tiger is ready to roll. So I'll see you in South America, Tim.
Okay, Tiger King.
I don't know if I could see you back through the other way. I don't know how TV works, but I will be in the next documentary a la Blackfish about corrupt wildlife shit. So
okay, I'm
glad
you're getting into whales. Like you're moving on from tigers to whales.
Yeah, well, I got my passport, so I would love to live in Europe. So that's not even a real joke. Wales is the place, and I thought I could make it, but here I am with egg on my face, and I'm just going to go enjoy my extinction. I hope everyone does it the same.
Okay. Goodbye.